doctors to find out how premium CBD products can help you find relief. From balms to tinctures to even products for your pets. Natural, safe, organic relief and lab tested with certifications. Reach out to one of our wellness consultants today at 405-455-3012 or online at cann-help.com.
Is your kitchen looking sad these days? Are you tired of looking at that old, dated bathroom? From rooftops to those unsightly holes in the walls, Complete Contracting has got you covered. Call 405-676-0595 today to schedule an estimate. Once again, that number is 405-676-0595. And remember, Complete Contracting has the contracting expertise for all your renovation and repair needs.
Happy Halloween! I'm going to bite your neck. Welcome to the Tod Tucker Show. We've got so many Democrats that we could be scaring the hell out of you with their pictures right now. I should have thought ahead. They don't even need a costume. The closest thing I have is that cardboard of herpes Hillary, though. That's the closest I have. All right, so today, we've got so much to cover. First of all, just in case you haven't heard yet, Frosty and I are returning to the radio, morning radio. That means alarm clock again. Monday we start on 1640 The Eagle. And you'll be able to stream it on kzlsam.com, also on the TuneIn Radio app, and there are some other places you'll be able to get it as well.
Oh my God, what's going to happen to the Tod Tucker Show on OTU Media?
I plan to just, be like a Hannity dude, a Mark Levin, work all day. Live for the weekends. So Monday, we start on the radio, and we'll be Facebooking that live as well on the station's webpage, so you'll be able to see Frosty and me. I can't give you any, I'll just have to make apologies ahead of time. We know Frosty doesn't know how to dress properly for camera. So just understand ahead of time. I don't dress the guy. So we've got this, I was having a conversation today with a guy, and we were talking about how there's this movement. The left is unhinged, of course, have been for a long time. Brett Kavanaugh, they really came unhinged when Anthony Kennedy, the swing voter on the Supreme Court, decided to retire. And so now we've got this mass chaos with caravans headed toward the American border, and we've got the elections, and we've got people that are in Congress, Speaker of the House in particular, that don't have a clue as to what the 14th Amendment of the Constitution is. So that's another conversation we're going to have today, because I think it's important when we vote for Congress people that maybe we quiz them on the Constitution. But that would also mean knowing the Constitution ourselves. But there's this Stop Trump movement everywhere. Stop Trump on the media. You turn on DNC and Stop Trump. MSDNC, Stop Trump. Joe Scarborough on The Morning Joke with his mistress Mika, the homewrecker. The communist homewrecker, Brzezinski. You turn into all, you put on the Today Show. You put on whatever, Good Morning My Butt. I mean, all of them. And they're talking about stop Trump. Stop Trump from what? Well, do we want to stop Trump from the fact that we're at 4.2% growth for the second quarter in 2018? That's the first time in over a decade that we're going to exceed 3% over the calendar year. Barack Obama said, oh, we'll never be able to do that. 4 million new jobs have been created since the election. More than 3.5 million since Donald Trump took office. So stop him from creating jobs. More employed now than ever before in our history. So like I said, we want to stop Trump in creating jobs. Jobless claims at lowest level in 5 decades. Longest positive job growth in history. Unemployment at a 50-year low. African Americans, record low unemployment. Hispanics, Asian women, youth, vets, high school dropouts. Blue-collar jobs are up. Everything else, unemployment is down. Blue-collar jobs are up. So we want to stop the president from that. More than 400,000 manufacturing jobs, 100,000 supporting oil and natural gas, which helps our state. So we want to stop Donald Trump from that. You keep saying stop Trump. Stop Trump from what? Median income rose to $61,372 in 2017. The first year the president was in office, that's a post-recession high. Wages were up in August of this year. Paychecks rose by 3.3% between 2016 and 2017. 3.9 million people are off of food stamps. So we want to stop Donald Trump from that. Median Hispanic income rose 3.7. Yeah, take this, Beto, you fake Mexican or whatever you're trying to be with your fully Irish Robert Francis O'Rourke name. Hispanic home ownership is up. Poverty rates for Hispanic and African Americans have reached the lowest levels on record. Stop Donald Trump from that. Small businesses, the confidence is up, so we want to take their confidence away. Consumer confidence up. We want to ruin your confidence in spending money because that only helps the economy, right? So we need to stop Donald Trump from that. Only 12% of people voting on Tuesday and those not voting find the economy is an issue in this election coming up. We had $450 billion poured back into the United States, $300 billion in the first quarter of this year. Second quarter numbers should be out soon. Retail sales surging, worker productivity up, deregulations galore, tax cuts, border walls started. We want to stop Donald Trump from protecting our border. Stop him from what? You keep saying stop Trump, but I just gave you a list of reasons why we want Trump to keep going. Stop Trump? That's a Democrat's best dream because, hey, they got to have their power. Because if they don't have their power, they're nothing. So we got to stop Donald Trump from doing all these great things for America. Oh, and God forbid we stop these illegals that are coming by the thousands across Mexico to bring tuberculosis and poverty and other diseases and crime and gangs and terrorists into our country. We're a nation of immigrants, you know. Well, yeah, but we are also a nation of legal immigration. We have laws. So we've got this massive caravan that's coming across Mexico. President Trump has said that he's going to stop them by executive order. Now, the president has also said that birthright citizenship will be ended one way or the other. That is part of the 14th Amendment. So let me just school you a bit in the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. Poor Ruth Buzzard Ginsburg the other day, who is a sitting justice. I didn't say she's alive. I just said she's sitting there looking a lot like a dead person on the Supreme Court and could not recite the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. All right, so let's keep this up, Moto. The author of the 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause, Senator Jacob Howard, fully described his intent, focus, and limits of the first clause while addressing and introducing it to the 39th Congress for ratification in 1866. All right, every person born within the limits of the United States and subject to their jurisdiction is by virtue of natural law and national law a citizen of the United States. This will not, of course, include persons born in the United States who are foreigners, aliens, who belong to the families of ambassadors of foreign ministers accredited to the government of the United States, but will include every other class of persons. It settles the great question of citizenship and removes all doubt as to what the persons are or not citizen, or what the persons are or are not citizens of the United States. This has long been a great issue in jurisprudence and legislation of this country. Senator Jacob Howard, Congressional Globe, 39th Congress, in 1866, page 290. Now, let's talk about Section 5 of the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. The Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. The section of the 14th Amendment, similar to sections in several other amendments, is known as an enforcement provision. Here's why the 14th Amendment came to be. It was after the slaves were released following the Civil War. This was to ensure citizenship and birthright to those slaves who were brought to the United States or sent to the United States and were slaves. When the Civil War was over, slaves were freed. There was the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which was ratified, which protected these slaves and gave them the rights as American citizens to be citizens upon their birth. This did not include people who cross our border illegally. It did not include those who come on vacation. They just happened to have a baby at Mercy Hospital because they thought Oklahoma would be a great place to visit. No. This is specific. Now, you're going on vacation. Let's say you decide that you're going to go to France. Now, I don't know of anybody that's going to go to France if their wife's, about to deliver a baby, but let's say they do. So you want your child to be a French citizen. Doesn't happen that way over there, you see. America is the only country in the world that doesn't abide by its own law. And that law is that we have borders, that we are a nation of laws and due process, and that if you want to migrate to the United States of America, you have every right to do so. If you come through the front door, tell us who you are, what your business is, and that's that. You go through the process. If you clear the process, hey, welcome to America. If you don't, go back home. That's simple. But you don't have a heart. No, I've got a heart. I've got a heart for this country. I've got a love for this country. I've got a love for my kids and grandkids and my future great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren and grandchildren that I'll never meet because I'll be dead. But I don't want to leave them a country full of a cesspool of people who just came here illegally just because. So that is what the 14th Amendment is. But apparently, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Paul Ryan, doesn't have a clue as to what the 14th Amendment is. How embarrassing. Never been a big Paul Ryan fan to begin with. So, for those of you demon rats that are watching right now that think I only pick on you, I'm picking on Paul Ryan right now because I think he's a total idiot. Goodbye, Paul. The president was right. Paul Ryan should be working right now as the sitting Speaker of the House to make sure that the House is that we retain control and gain more control of the House of Representatives for the next Congress. That's what Paul Ryan should be doing. But he disagreed with the president about the constitutionality of eliminating automatic citizenship for people born in the U.S. We just went over this with the 14th Amendment. Is there anybody watching right now that doesn't understand what I just explained and why we have a 14th Amendment? I even went so far as to read Section 5 of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. But Democrats, liberals, they want to change the Constitution. Well, that's like changing the Bible. Except changing the Bible has eternal consequences, whereas changing the Constitution, well, we just can't let either happen. The Bible was written, is what it is. It's been translated many times, but it still says what it says. And the Constitution of the United States has never been intended to be a living document. It is a document of laws in which we should follow. And you know what? I'm sorry, atheists and agnostics out there, but that includes having the 10 Commandments, rather, at our state capitol or any other damn place we feel like having it. Because our laws, in large part, are based on the 10 Commandments. We're going to take a break. I know that you're on a little overload right now because we had a history lesson about the 14th Amendment. You might want to play this broadcast for your kids later if you're a parent or a grandparent, because they're not going to learn this in school. I'm not even sure their teachers know what the Constitution says because they don't teach it anymore. This is the Tod Tucker Show. Hey, did I mention we're back on the radio Monday? We'll be right. Man, I've got a little boot today. We're back right after this. Don't go away.
President Trump is defending his idea that he can end U.S. birthright citizenship. He tweeted this morning, so-called birthright citizenship, which costs our country billions of dollars and is very unfair to our citizens, will be ended one way or the other. But even some of the president's own allies disagree.
You cannot end birthright citizenship with an executive order. I'm a believer in the Constitution. I believe in interpreting the Constitution as it's written, and that means you can't do something like this via executive order.
The president has also called the caravan of refugees heading to the U.S. from Central America invaders and has ordered 5,200 soldiers to the border. You can expect to hear a lot about the caravan and birthright citizenship as the president holds his final string of rallies over 6 days leading up to the election.
I got to ask you out of the gate, President Trump raising some eyebrows today, talking about an executive order ending birthright citizenship. Where do you stand on that?
Well, you obviously cannot do that. You cannot end birthright citizenship with an executive order. We didn't like it when Obama tried changing immigration laws via executive action, and obviously as conservatives, we believe in the Constitution. As a conservative, I'm a believer in following the plain text of the Constitution, and I think in this case the 14th Amendment's pretty clear. And that would involve a very, very lengthy constitutional process. But where we obviously totally agree with the president is getting at the root issue here, which is unchecked illegal immigration. And so we, House Republicans.
Okay, Paul Ryan has said we need to end illegal immigration. Paul, you've been in Congress for quite a long time, Padna, and you haven't gotten it done. And now we've got a president who's wanting to get it done, and you're saying he doesn't have the authority to sign an executive order. He does, sir. How embarrassing is that? I thought Nancy Pelosi was the most clueless Speaker of the House, but apparently Paul Ryan is just clueless, period. By the way, I love the Eddie Munster look on Halloween, Paul, Mr. Speaker. Just saying. So Lindsey Graham, I'm starting to like him more and more. Since John McCain died, Lindsey Graham has really done a 180. Lindsey Graham announced on Twitter this morning, actually yesterday morning. What is today? Today's Wednesday, Halloween. Okay. Yesterday, he's going to introduce legislation similar to any executive order President Trump might issue, ending birthright citizenship in the United States. Finally, Graham says, a president willing to take on this absurd policy of birthright citizenship. In addition, I plan to introduce legislation along the same lines as the proposed executive order from @RealDonaldTrump, or POTUS, President Trump. We talked about the 14th Amendment. We explained what the 14th Amendment is. It's not to let everybody come across our borders that damn well pleases. It was to protect and to help slaves that had just been released after the Civil War. Because if anybody had the right to be American citizens, it was the former slaves of this country, and not some despot that wants to come across our border and spread hatred and sponge off of our system and bog down our education system and our health care and bring tuberculosis and MS-13 gang members. Oh, and there'll be a few Middle Easterners mixed in the bag too, just so you know. What happened to ISIS? Well, we don't have a Muslim president feeding ISIS anymore now, do we? Think about that one for a second. Hillary Clinton. She's always in the news to be so irrelevant. We talked about this. I think we've got the video. Can we play the video? This says it all.
What's often called political correctness is politeness.
Are we
It's not being rude and insulting to people. It's respecting the diversity that we have in our society. So I don't know exactly how to answer that because the Democratic Party is a much more diverse political party, attracting people who are African American, Latino, LGBT, whatever the reason why people feel more comfortable where they are taken in, where they are included as part of a political movement or party.
Oh, yeah, Hillary, you're a big fan of the LGBT community.
And
Big fan. Hillary also talking about African Americans, yet she said that all black men look alike, in reference to Cory Booker and former Fast and Furious Attorney General Eric Holder. She's racist. Everybody knows it.
You've seen one super predator, you've seen them all.
Right, exactly. She's married to a super predator rapist, and then you've got her. And boy, we could just have a field day with her. But yeah, she's so concerned about the LGBT community, and yet when she was senator, she spoke out against LGBT marriage. Oh, but Todd, she had a transformation. Yeah, that transformation was, I'm going to run for president, and I need to, this big tent that I think the Democrats have that's shrinking by the moment, we need to make sure that, that we bring them into that big tent. Well, a lot of gay people weren't fooled by you, Hillary, or were they fooled by Barry, the closet gay guy? No, not at all. Not fooled. Both against marriage between, marriage is between a man and a woman. Oh, look at Michelle. Well, I argue that Hillary might not be a woman. We don't know what she is. I don't want to see her naked. So, Hillary Clinton saying that black guys look alike. Boy, that's very Democrat of you, Hillary.
Can you imagine if President Trump had said
Hillary, if President Trump had said that, it would be all, that would give DNCNN more to talk about. Don, the Lemon, Morning Joke, Chris Cuomo. He's a Mo, all right. And then you've got CNN's Brian Stetler. And he's saying that President Trump is leading the hate movement across the media. Okay, President Trump is not the one that talked about the birther situation to begin with. It was the media questioning President Trump about it. And so President Trump answered the question. That's where that came from. President Trump, I thought I turned my ringer off. And it says scam likely. Hello, scammer, go away.
We want all sides to come together in peace and harmony.
The morning after President Trump preached unity at a rally in Wisconsin, he blamed the media for the current political climate, tweeting, "A very big part of the anger we see today in our society is caused by the purposely false and inaccurate reporting of the mainstream media." It follows the discovery of suspicious packages sent to many of the president's frequent targets, including the media and prominent Democrats.
Hillary, crooked Hillary. Good old Maxie, low IQ individual.
CNN Worldwide President Jeff Zucker, whose organization received one of the explosive devices, released a statement condemning the White House rhetoric, saying there's a total and complete lack of understanding at the White House about the seriousness of their continued attacks on the media. The president, and especially the White House press secretary, should understand their words matter. The press secretary, Sarah Sanders, pushed back Thursday.
The idea that this is at the hands of the president is absolutely ridiculous.
Moto made a great point just now. He said people are so disconnected. They just don't even see that the media is so dishonest and spreading so much fake news. It's mind-boggling. But at the same time, that's why people aren't watching the media anymore. Sadly, though, a lot of people skim the headlines. Like, for example, let's look at this one. Just hold it there. Joe Donnelly, Democrat of Indiana, insults minority staffers during final Senate debate. Now, that's a bad one for me to use. So let's just talk about the fact that Joe Donnelly's a racist. Okay? He's losing badly in Indiana. He's gonna lose that seat. The Republicans are gonna pick it up. Praise God for that. Menendez, the guy that almost went to prison, maybe, I don't know. He was in big trouble with the law. Remember that? Running for re-election in New Jersey. We're going to see if they've decided to wise up, because he was only about 2 points ahead, which isn't really good if you're an incumbent before an important midterm. Oh, man. So, okay, Albuquerque man. Let's go to that one. Albuquerque man wearing Trump shirt turned away from voting. Now, first of all, I dare somebody to kick me out of their restaurant or their coffee shop or their establishment for wearing Trump memorabilia or a Trump 20 hat or a Trump 2020 t-shirt. In fact, I've got a Trump Pence lapel pin that I wear sometimes. And I dare somebody to tell me, oh, you're not welcome here. I've got a conservative Republican pin I wear sometimes. I dare you to try to kick me out of your establishment, because I promise I won't go quietly, and we'll make sure that you're on the news that night, for sure. I mean, when have you seen a Democrat kicked out of a restaurant because they're a libturd? When's the last time any of these morons on DNCNN were kicked out of a restaurant anywhere?
I'd be happy kicking him out of Congress.
When is the last time Drew Edmondson was kicked out of a restaurant? One of the worst attorneys general ever in the United States of America. So, if you want to, I'd love to get your comments on the 14th Amendment and this caravan coming across. Valerie made a great point, because she did a better job explaining the 14th Amendment than I did, even, because she said it was for the children of the slaves, to make sure that the children of the slaves had citizenship when they're born here. And that's exactly why there's a 14th Amendment. It's not for immigrants, for people to cross the border and decide, I'm gonna push out a kid or two here. Then we've got Luis Gutierrez. Boy, this is a real winner. Yeah. Trump wants to end birthright citizenship because he loves hating on brown people. Okay, can I go back just a second here? Hispanic unemployment, record low, 4.5%. Hispanic home ownership up. Median Hispanic income rose 3.7. Poverty rates for Hispanics and African Americans have reached the lowest levels on record. So show me the proof. Where in what I just the facts that I just gave you, Luis, where in any of that does it show that Donald Trump likes to hate on brown people? You know, everybody knows that Jeb Bush is married to Columba Bush, who is a Mexican immigrant. Okay, legal, but they have children. George P. Bush serves on the Texas Railroad Commission. And, George H.W. Bush, I don't remember if he was vice president at the time or president, but he said, I love my little brown ones. And they tried to make a racist comment out of that. Just like they're trying to say that Donald Trump is anti-Semitic when he's got Jewish grandchildren, a Jewish daughter, and a Jewish son-in-law who works very closely with him in his administration.
We weren't willing to call Barack Obama anti-Semite, but we're willing to call President Trump anti-Semite.
But I will call Barack Obama a Muslim.
Cognitive dissonance is what that is.
And I will go back even further to say, where's ISIS been the last year and a half? Well, we don't have a Muslim president sending money to fund them. Oh, I'm waiting for somebody to say fake news, fake news. Well, I got the proof. Give me dates. I'm tired of this fake news stuff.
Actually, if you want the real news about what is going on with ISIS right now, they're getting hammered by the SDF forces in the Hajin Pocket, which is on the Syrian-Iraqi border, which is isolating the Iraqi ISIS factions also. And in the deserts that are just west of the Deir ez-Zor region, the SAA, the Syrian Arab Army, is also decimating ISIS forces. There's small pockets in the Idlib pocket up in northern Syria, but that's mostly HTS.
You were in the Middle East, right?
I was.
In the Marines. Where did you serve?
I was in Iraq. I was in Al-Qaeda al-Assad and Fallujah.
Was
our
Saddam,
unit
was
was
Saddam already
deployed there.
dead then?
No, yes.
And now,
they actually just pulled Abu Bali, I don't remember. They just pulled an ISIS
Yabba
leader.
Dabba Doo.
Yeah, one of the lions of the caliphate. They just pulled him out of a hole in the ground like a rat in Iraq over this.
One of the Yabba Dabba Doos, Ramadama Ding Dong. Mm-hmm. We're going to take a quick break. We're back right after this. Hey, early voting starts tomorrow. Do you know anything about the state questions? You will. I promise you will, because we're going to go over them tomorrow, right here on the Tod Tucker Show. We'll be right back.
Where we can help. Stop by any of our 4 wellness centers to find out how premium CBD products can help you find relief. From balms to tinctures to even products for your pets. Natural, safe, organic relief and lab tested with certifications. Reach out to one of our wellness consultants today at 405-455-3012 or online at cann-help.com.
Is your kitchen looking sad these days? Are you tired of looking at that old, dated bathroom? From rooftops to those unsightly holes in the walls, Complete Contracting has got you covered. Call 405-676-0595 today to schedule an estimate. Once again, that number is 405-676-0595. And remember, Complete Contracting has the contracting expertise for all your renovation and repair needs.
What do you say? I want you to be my VP. I want you. You're my vice.
Well, George, I'm the CEO of a large company. And I have been Secretary of Defense. And I have been White House Chief of Staff. The Vice Presidency is a mostly symbolic job. However, if we came to a different understanding, I can handle the more mundane jobs, overseeing bureaucracy, military, energy, and foreign policy.
Yeah, right. I like that.
I got a plan. I know the direction, the lay of the land.
When you have power, people will always try to take it from you, always.
Nothing can break me down. I'm the man.
Are you even more ruthless than you used to be?
Right hand to God, first in command. My testimony, when I take the stand. Who's the man? 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 Who's the plan? I'm the man.
So we're gonna do this thing, or what? I mean, is this happening?
I believe we can make this work.
Hot damn.
Problems with pain, anxiety, or
Well, on the left there, you see a shriveled up old man, one of the worst attorney generals in the history of our country. He was the attorney general for Oklahoma for a long time, has made a lot of money, gets a huge pension, and he wants to be governor. He wants to raise your taxes so he can take more. Oh, but he's all for education. Well, I haven't heard anybody say they're not for education, frankly. That would be political suicide. But Democrats talk out of both sides of their mouth, so nothing would surprise me. But you've got Drew Edmondson, who is a Hillary Clinton supporter, voted for Barack Obama twice. He wants to be governor of a state that did not vote for Barack Obama either time, or for Bill Clinton either time, or for But Drew Edmondson did. Does Drew Edmondson, does he relate to you? I mean, does he reflect the values of this conservative state? I say no. And I've been critical of Kevin Stitt over the course of the campaign. That's what we do in politics. We don't always agree on everything. And there were some things I called Kevin Stitt out on. Just like there were things I called Donald Trump out on during the 2016 campaign as a Ted Cruz supporter. But I believe that Donald Trump's election was a blessing to this great country. And I'm hoping and praying that the election of Kevin Stitt as our next governor will do the same. Kevin Stitt, a businessman, yeah, he's rich. He's not going to accept a salary. He's like President Trump, not accepting a salary to be governor. Is Drew Edmondson going to turn loose of that money? Don't bet on it. But let's take a look at money raised here. Stitt's report shows that he's raised $10.2 million in his race against Drew Edmondson. There's a lot at stake in this election coming up on Tuesday for this state. A lot at stake for the Congress of this nation. And people think, oh, you know what? Everybody, all the red people are going to win. We don't have to worry about it. You know, if it's raining Tuesday, I don't have to vote. No, every vote counts. You've got to get out and vote. You got to vote for Kevin Stitt. You got to vote for Matt Pinnell. You got to vote for Steve Russell or Tom Cole or Frank Lucas or Kevin Hearn or Mark Wayne Mullen, whoever your congressperson is. You've got to do what you can to ensure that we stay red in Oklahoma. And for crying out loud, when you're going to vote for a congressperson, let's not put a Paul Ryan. Don't be a Paul Ryan where you don't know the Constitution, because Congress makes the laws, the president signs the laws, the court interprets the laws, and how can laws be enacted by Congress if the Speaker of the House doesn't even know the Constitution, can't even tell you what the 14th Amendment is or the president's power? Unbelievable. But we take a look here, and we see that the president is ending the birthright citizenship with a stroke of a pen. Yes, he too has a pen and a phone. Barack Obama's not the only one, not the only president that's had a pen and a phone. So the president signs the order, and we got to stop the caravan. I don't know if you saw I think I sent some pictures. If not, my apologies, but we are sending truckloads of tanks and military gear down to the border. President Trump is committed to stopping this madness and setting up tent cities while people are being evaluated. We're not going to build buildings, nice air-conditioned buildings. I mean, he says they'll be nice tents. Be a heck of a lot better than what they're going to live in if they cross the border and nobody finds them for a while, right?
President Trump was more specific last night on how he'll handle the migrant caravan headed up through Mexico toward the U.S. border. On Fox News Channel's The Ingram Angle, the president talked about setting up tent cities where the migrants can live as they wait to find out if their application will be approved.
We're not going to build structures and spend all of this, hundreds of millions of dollars. We're going to have tents. They're going to be very nice, and they're going to wait. And if they don't get asylum, they get out.
He added that very few people will actually be granted asylum. And he wants to weed out possible gang members he says are infiltrating the group.
We're catching. We're not releasing.
The caravan is still more than 8.
The bill funding the wall is already out of the House. It's sitting over in the Senate facing a Chuck Schumer filibuster at this moment. So, I think the smarter, faster solution here is to crack down on illegal immigration, and we obviously support doing that. But I'm a believer in the Constitution. I believe in interpreting the Constitution as it's written, and that means you can't do something like this via executive order.
But is the argument sound, though, that the 14th Amendment, and when it makes reference to jurisdiction, that's referring to legal status of parents, being legal immigrants or citizens, the parents being citizens, is the argument that, whether it's done by executive order or statute, is the argument sound?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the argument. It is what I would call, I guess, a legitimate argument, but I think it's fairly clear, especially back in the day, that sort of applies to diplomats and their families. Mm-hmm. Everyone's under the jurisprudence of our laws here. So, speaking strictly constitutionally, you can have a pretty good argument about this. Mm-hmm. What is very clear is you can't change this via executive fiat.
There you go. It's Halloween. Speaker Eddie Munster, also known as Paul Rhino. I think his legal name is Paul Ryan. Looks a lot like Eddie Munster, though. And speaking of Halloween, we've been talking about the DOC building. It has a history not known to many Oklahomans. As Halloween approaches, the staff and guards are sharing their accounts of ghosts that roam the hallways. They say they appear in dark shadows and so far have not been caught on camera. I don't know if ghosts can be caught on camera or not. Can they? I don't know. I thought ghosts were supposed to be kind of an invisible thing. Let's take a look at this video of this historic but spooky building.
Staff at the Department of Corrections in Oklahoma City says their building is haunted.
You might be skeptical, but the guards tell our Bonnie Campo ghosts have roamed the halls for years. They've even chased them thinking an intruder was inside the building after hours.
I thought it was going a little crazy, like maybe my eyes were just playing tricks on me. But again, when the same things happen to other people and it keeps reoccurring, not every day, every few months, you learn to live with it.
Living with the unknown, Lieutenant Justin Tate and his guards patrol these halls each and every night. Sometimes when the clock nears the witching hour, dark shadows shaped like people appear.
And you could hear record music playing in here.
Tate sits in what was once the old morgue. What is now the Department of Corrections was once the old health department. Before that, it was the Oklahoma Union Soldiers Home, built in 1917. State historians say the building functioned as a retirement home, nursing home, and hospital. Soldiers lived and died here. There's even a cemetery dedicated in their honor feet away on a nearby hilltop.
I would accept that there are probably some things that I don't understand or have the answers to. We've had a lot of people who say they've seen a lot of different things.
This is one of the most haunted places on DOC's campus. They say doors open for no reason and then spirits vanish into thin air.
From all my officers that I've spoken to, they don't like that hallway either. We don't go down it with the lights off.
The sightings have sent skeptics searching for specters.
One time I heard somebody running down the hall upstairs, but when I went to go check, there was nobody else on the premises.
And the paranormal even pouring from the bathroom sink.
Another sergeant of mine, he deals with the faucets turning on in the middle of the night.
The questions looming on everyone's mind. Who will visit this All Hallows Eve, and will they be up to their old tricks? Bonnie Campo, News 9.
And there you go. Since it's owned by the Department of Corrections, I don't know what the orientation of these ghosts are. Just don't drop the soap if you're doing night duty there. Couldn't resist, I'm sorry. Monday, in case you missed the big announcement, Frosty and I are returning to the radio on 1640 The Eagle, KZLS. It's a radio station that is licensed to Enid, comes into Oklahoma City. It's streaming on KZLSAM.com. You can get it on the TuneIn Radio app, and they've got other ways you're going to be able to pick up the show as well. We'll also be doing Facebook Live and have the cameras in studio like we did at the other place. But Frosty and I have left the hood on the east side, and we have moved on up to a high-rise studio overlooking Lake Hefner and the Northwest Expressway. So we're pretty excited about that. The Tod Tucker Show returning to radio Monday from 6 to 10. So make sure that you get up early, because we're going to make sure your morning commute is exciting and fun. And real conservatism is returning to morning radio in Oklahoma. It disappeared for a while. Not my call, just happened, but we're back. All right, that's kind of a good day to Halloween. We're back. Become a patron. Ghosts, real people, animals. Oklahoma Taxpayers Unite Facebook page, OTU, right there. Oklahoma Taxpayers Unite. Become a patron, give some money, keep the lights on, and help us keep the video portion of the shows that we put on alive and kicking.
That's going to be at www.patreon.com.
Told you don't have to say the three W's anymore.
Media. Also, find us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so that you get the notifications. We're also on SoonerPolitics.org. Our great buddy David Van over there sponsors the Bunker blog spot. You can also find us on Facebook at OK Taxpayers Unite. And fear not, just because Tod Tucker is going back to the radio, it does not mean that he's leaving us here at OTU Media.
By the way, 1995 called and they want their internet lingo back. You don't have to say W's anymore. I'm just trying to break him of that. I don't think it'll ever work.
HTTPS.
Yeah, this, yeah, whatever. Okay, hey, thanks for being with us today. Back tomorrow for another award-winning show. Hopefully, as we get close to the election, we'll talk about state questions. By the way, tomorrow, early voting begins in Oklahoma land, so get ready and make sure you vote red. I don't care about Labor Commission and Secretary of Education. Those two races, I don't really give a flip one way or the other because I'm just going to write somebody in. Maybe I'll write Moto in. Maybe I'll write Frosty in. Anyway, we'll see you back tomorrow. God bless you. God bless America. God bless Oklahoma. Remember, the heart of the wise inclines to the right, the heart of the fool to the left. Ecclesiastes 10:2. See you tomorrow.